This is my AEP 873 reflection, Google Education. So in my exploration stage coming into the class, one of the things I was curious about was if there was more to actually learn in Google. I'd used Google Classroom before, had used Google Drive, had used Gmail, and so I thought that I pretty much knew everything there was to know about using Google. My other question was, would it be relevant to learn Google because our school just went to one-to-one MacBooks and we were using the learning management system of Canvas, and so it was we had very specific instructions to move away from Google Classroom. We could still use Google Drive, but we really were going all in on Apple and Canvas, and so I didn't know if the Google class would actually apply to me anymore. Through the class, I found a lot of new uses for Google, some that I had used previously and had forgotten about, and some that I had used and didn't realize how actually useful they really were. Some examples would be Google Drive. Like, I think that I used Google Drive before, but I wasn't comfortable with the ability to share documents with other people. I didn't really quite appreciate the uses for collaboration, and so I just looked at it as a storage place for files. And I realized in this class that there's way more to do with Google Drive than just save my files in there. So I'm excited about that. Google Forms, I didn't realize you could actually create a quiz or a test in Google Forms. We have that capacity in Canvas, but it's nice to have Google Forms to be able to do that. I had used it before to gather data from students or like athletes on my teams, but in this class, I've used it now for surveys and to gather different types of information from kids that I did not do before. Google Keep, I think, was one of the biggest ones. Unfortunately for us, Google Keep is actually blocked in our district. I don't know why, but that's one that I'm hoping that we can change in our school, and something I can use not just for myself but also for my students. I guess a great informal way for kids to organize themselves. And I was reminded about extensions such as Pear Deck, Edpuzzle, which I really haven't used, and I learned Screencastify this year. And I learned that it was very useful with Apple and Canvas. There's a way in Canvas to be able to create assignments and load them through Google Drive. The kids can open it up. It makes a copy for them. They can complete the assignment and they can resubmit it all through Canvas, and it all uses Google Drive. That's been awesome because I can post things, I can manipulate it, and it automatically changes it in Canvas. And it's been easy for the kids to be able to complete things and turn them in. And so feeling better about Google Drive and Google Docs has really helped me out in Canvas because everything I'm doing right now in Canvas, I'm using Google Docs and Google Drive and Google Slides and things like that. And then I found out that Google is way easier to use on a MacBook than Microsoft is. My Microsoft applications do not work very well on my MacBook. Even though we were told that they were going to work seamlessly, they definitely have not. And so I'm moving everything over to Google Drive and using everything there. And that has worked really well and been very simple and easy to do. My conjecture, one of the things I'm thinking about going forward now is that now that I know that Google is useful, how can I use it to motivate and engage students in my class, and also use it to improve collaboration? And so this is one of the things I'm really excited about to get from the class, is to think about ways to better engage students using technology, and better ways to get students to collaborate and work with each other. I think that one of the biggest things that we have available to us right now is the ability to collaborate using technology. It's one of the ISTE standards, is to really get kids to collaborate with each other, with people outside of the school. And so I'm excited about diving into Google to do those things in the future. So in my analysis, I think one of the very first things we read in this class was about how paperless is not a pedagogy. And in assignment 5, I was reminded of this as I was going through and looking at Google Classroom and thinking about how one of the authors said something about Google Classroom is not just a place to accumulate files, but a place to engage students and a way to engage students in the classroom. And that reminded me of paperless is not a pedagogy. And I think as we move to using things like Google and using Canvas, using our MacBooks, that the initial stage is to just move things over and keep doing things the way that you used to. But as I think about it and reflect upon it and look forward, Google definitely provides easy ways to increase student engagement and motivation, and some really easy ways to get kids to collaborate. And so we're not just moving things over and making things paperless, but we're really enriching and changing the way the students are learning, the way they're engaged in class, the way they're working with each other, the things they're creating, their ability to reflect and share their reflections. And Google, along with Canvas, has been a great way for us to do that in our classroom. For my synthesis stage, one of the things going forward that I want to do is definitely use more tools for engagement. So I'm excited about going back to things like Pear Deck and Edpuzzle and Screencastify. One of the things I did this semester was using Screencastify and getting kids to record, like we're doing right now, to record presentations that they could then upload into Canvas, and then having kids view and respond. And one of the great things about that was it enabled kids to get to know each other better. I teach freshmen, and they come from two different middle schools, so we have a lot of kids who don't know each other. And so doing like just a simple assignment like that got kids to get to know somebody in class or in another class that they didn't previously know. And it was funny to see like some kids really keyed on certain aspects of other students they thought were really cool or interesting or things like that. And so I like that from an engagement standpoint because it's getting kids involved. It's getting them talking. It's getting them comfortable with each other. It's getting them engaged. Pear Deck is something I'd used just a couple times last year and then had kind of moved away from it. I don't really know why, but I'm excited to use that next semester. I don't do a lot of PowerPoint presentations, but there are a few sometimes that we have to do to get content to kids that is maybe difficult for them to understand. And so using Pear Deck to improve their engagement in the things that we're doing and just get them a little bit more active and engaged in what we do. And I've never used Edpuzzle, which I'm guessing is probably not okay to admit, but I'm excited about that. I found a Google extension for it. It looks super easy to use. My daughter uses it in one of her classes, and so I'm excited to examine that as well. The other thing is collaboration through Google Drive. I'm really intrigued about getting kids to collaborate across different classes. So like my first block today, maybe with my third block that I have on Monday or something. That's one of the things I really enjoyed about this class was getting the opportunity to collaborate with other people. I learned a lot by doing that. I thought the collaboration part of it was really fun. I was a little bit nervous about it and kind of dreading it at first. But then once I got into it, I really liked the conversation and seeing the work that other people did. So I really enjoyed that. And I think that students would like that too. I think students always obviously like to work together, but getting into collaborate in different ways with different people, I think is a great use of Google Drive. I also like the idea that would enrich their discussion and their thought as they're working through projects, that they get develops a sense of community within the class because they really get to know each other in different ways when they're doing that. And I think those are authentic experiences. In Assignment 5, it's one of the things that really jumped out at me. Looking at things like Google Classroom and Google Chrome book was that those are things that collaboration is real world. Like those are authentic experiences, and helping students do those things in ways that are meaningful in a digital age is really important for us to do. And that is it. I really enjoyed this class. I enjoyed getting to know everybody. This is one of my last classes in the program. I've really enjoyed the program, and this was a great class for my last technology class. Thank you.